Okay, so Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good evening, everyone. So this is uh, the presentation from Group 5 of English for Academics in Agriculture. So my name is Garudia Iwanga, and there are all my friends, which include like Delana Atafasia, Brilian Bio Nurjana, Ayu Saskia Barus, Alin Febi Cahyani, Alfatul Rahmaniyah Azharo, Rama Futuh Nindarjadi, and Saloni Kakinding. So we are today here for reviewing some journal, and because I have another meeting to attend, so I have to like present first. So this is the journal that we are about to review. It is the title of the article is called "Effects of Various Growing Media in Fertilizer Level of Growth of Antherura, Rubra, Lour." So what I will do here is some kind of a monologue. So for the sake of simplicity, I will just use the template that Mr. Alan just gave 2 weeks ago. So okay, maybe we will start from the first one, which is, do you agree with the author's rationale for setting up the experiment as they did? So yeah, I very much agree, because this is a kind of a rare plant. So as an agricultural expert, we don't actually only specialize in crop plantation, which produce food, but also an endangered species like these lovely plants like Antherura, Rubra, like here. So I think the author rationale for making this research is very good, because there is not a lot of research in this kind of fields of study yet. So on to the next question, the second question is that, did they perform the experiments appropriately? So I think Miss Fitri Kurniawati and Miss Mirandi Aryani are professionals, so they have already like masters the kind of protocols that should be applied when doing the research. So yeah, I think they have to do it appropriately. Question number 3, were there enough experiments to support the major finding? I would say so, because they actually researching about a very basic science in agricultural field, which is the effects of fertilizer on plants. But the difference here is that they don't research the effect on ordinary plants, but kind of a unique plants. So I think there is already enough support and already enough knowledge to back this kind of research. On to the question number 4, do you see patterns or some kind of patterns in the data? At first glance, I don't see any patterns. If we look at the table here, actually there is not a lot of significant results. You can see the significance symbol. Almost all of them is A, which meant that not a lot of them actually give a significant effects, judging by statistically, but there is some kind of a significant effect, which is can be observed in 24 weeks after planting. So when we see the tables, we cannot see any particular patterns, but if we look at the graph here, it's become more intuitive. So if we look at the control plants which they don't have any fertilizer in it, they actually don't have that much leaf compared to the other plants. So I think we can see a very clear patterns here that the control plants actually don't have that much leaf. So it is pretty much expected, because when you don't put any fertilizer in your plants, you don't have much leaf. And then do you agree with the author's conclusion? Yeah, the author's conclusion looks very rational, because they have done the appropriate kind of analysis for the result. So actually the analysis is not that complicated. In fact, we as fourth semester students actually have been taught this kind of statistical analysis using analysis of variance of or ANOVA, and also the Duncan post analysis. So it is actually a very established method of concluding some statistical findings. So yes, I think the author's conclusion about the effects of macronutrients on the growth of this plant is actually very appropriate. And for me, it's quite accurate as well. What further question do you have? Yeah, I mean, this is actually a very basic research because they only analyze the kind of basic nutrients that will affect the growth of the plant, but not the kind of things that is too specific, you know. I mean, for example, in this research, they use what is it is called a catalytic compost. So as far as I know, a catalytic compost is kind of a biofertilizer where there are a lot of microorganisms present in the compost. If I'm not mistaken, there are about a dozen different bacteria in the compost. So the further question that I would like to ask the author of this research paper is that are there any difference between the kind of microorganism that affect the plant's growth, or there are no objective ways of finding it, you know? Because I really appreciate the rationale behind this research, but I think we can still dig more deeply into this kind of topic. So the last question, what might you suggest they do next? So yes, I mean, this question answer is actually tied up to the last question, which is what further question do you have? So I would like to suggest the authors of this research to do a further study on the specific effect of the microorganism which presents in the compost, not analyzing their effects like collectively but individually. So yeah, it is my 7 answer to the 7 questions that have been presented by Mr. Alan Sofan in his PowerPoint. So overall, I think this research is very interesting and are very suitable for students like us to read. Okay, thank you.
Hi guys, have you ever read about international journal about the media influence of planting?
Yes, I have. I read the journal while working on the practicum report.
What is the title of the journal? I want to read for my work.
There are some international journals that are read about the influence of planting media. One of which is entitled is Media Influence of Planting and Concentration of Organic Liquid Fertilizer on the Growth and Result Lettuce. And maybe it can be your reference.
Does the journal only focus on the effect of growing media?
No. In addition to the effect of planting media, the effect of fertilizer concentration is also discussed in the journal.
Then what plant did they try in the study?
They used lettuce as the research material.
Okay. Do they only want to know the effect of growing media and the concentration of organic fertilizer?
There is any factor they want to know. It is how the interaction effect of the two.
So, like what kind of research they do in this journal?
From what I have seen in the research method, they use the randomized block design with two factors. The first factor was growing media, and the second in 2-3 replication.
Oh, I see. Then what parameters did they observe in the research?
In this research, the parameter that they observe such as the length of the plant, then number of leaves, and the weight of the plant.
So what did they get from the research?
From the research, we know that there was no significant interaction between the planting media factor and the concentration of organic fertilizer on the three observed variables.
Did they include other reference to support of the result of their research?
Yes, of course. They used several journal references to support their research result.
So what conclusion did they get from this research?
The conclusion that they get from this research such as there was a significant effect of the composition of the growing media in all parameters, as well as the effect of the concentration of organic fertilizer. However, there was no significant interaction between the planting media factor and the concentration of organic fertilizer on the three observed variables.
In your opinion, guys, have they done a good research on this journal?
In my opinion of view, they have done good research because they have used several factors and also tests. In addition, they also look for how the interaction of these two factors on the growth of lettuce.
In your opinion, are there any disadvantages in this journal?
From what I observed, any disadvantage in this journal, such as they did not describe in more detail what treatment, K1, P2, P1, P2, and so on, I'm a little confused.
I see. But do other have the same journal as well?
Yeah, I have read some journal and maybe there's some like this journal too. The title is The Effect of Liquid Organic Fertilizers from Vegetable Waste and Planting Media on the Growth and Yield of Strawberry Earlibrite Cultivation. So difficult title.
Okay, I've also read the journal for assignment reference purpose too.
Coincidentally, I have also read it just to add to my knowledge.
Wow. I wonder what kind of research are.
So in this research, they using a design method in the form of randomized block design with two factor and three replication. The first factor is vegetable waste liquid organic fertilizer with 4 levels of treatment respectively. And the second factor was the planting medium with 3 levels of treatment.
Okay, so what is the purpose of doing the research?
They conducted the research to study the interaction between liquid organic fertilizer and growing medium and to determine the best dose of liquid organic fertilizer and growing media for the growth and yield of strawberries.
From the journal, there are any reason why to use liquid organic fertilizer. That's because there is a lot of organic vegetables waste left over from markets and supermarkets, and it will be more beneficial if the organic waste can be used as raw material for organic fertilizer. Then the reason why the organic waste is made into liquid organic fertilizer is that it has an advantage of providing nutrients according to plant needs. Besides, the application can be more evenly distributed and the concentration can be adjusted according to plant needs.
Then, what parameters are used in the research?
There is some parameters. The parameter is plant height, leaf area, fresh weight, plant dry weight, fruit weight, and the last fruit quality.
And what are the results obtained from these parameters?
The result showed that there was an interaction in leaf width with the highest number of 135.42 centimeters in the combination P2M2 treatment.
Oh, I see. Then what can be concluded from the result of this study?
The results they get from the study were that there was an interaction between leaf area observations between the application of liquid organic fertilizer of vegetable waste and the type of media on Earlibrite strawberry plants, with the best combination of treatment in the combination of P2M2 treatment and the best dose of liquid organic fertilizer in P3 treatment with dose of 750 mils, and the best type of media was M2 with 1/2. Meanwhile, for the other parameters, the results obtained varied. Some had a significant effect and no effect.
I see. Do you guys think the research is good enough?
I think the research they did good well. Although the research about fruit so many, but they focus on the Earlibrite Cultivar strawberry plant. So that this research is specific and certainly provides benefit for the world, right, of knowledge, and is directly applied in society.
And what are the advantage and disadvantage of the journal?
Okay, the advantage of this journal is that it provides a complete discussion of material, methods, and results, so as to provide complete information on the procedures and results. But the drawback of this journal is that it does not provide an explanation of the reasons and backgrounds for using elaborate cultivars, so that readers will ask questions and not reach complete information.
So guys, in your opinion, will the result of the research be useful for learning in our study program?
Yes, of course. The results of the research are useful for learning in the agronomy study program. The result provide learning about the result of the horticultura field, namely strawberry, which is closely related to our study program. This can increase learning knowledge and for lecture materials and reference in assignment. In addition to that, the result have an impact on entrepreneurs and strawberry farmers and become a consideration for choosing liquid organic waste fertilizer and the best planting media in order to provide the best results as well.